I'm joined now by two gentlemen with a company called Park Place Energy Corporation. Their stock symbol is PKPL. To my far right is Mr. George Cefalis. He's one of the founders of the company. He's also a consultant currently with the company. And to my immediate right is Mr. David Johnson. He is the CEO of the company. Gentlemen, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Now, David, I'll start with you. Park Place Energy Corporation describes itself as a oil and gas exploration company, but you're concentrating in something called high-quality shale gas. Tell us about that.
Yes, Don, we've really focused on the shale gas opportunities in Eastern Europe. Obviously, North America, the majors have really expanded the industry and the market's really taken off in that area. However, in Eastern Europe, where we're looking right now, there's a lot of opportunity that just hasn't been tapped into yet. So we're able to get on the ground floor and really try and get something going here.
Yeah, no, because I mean, 15 years ago, there really wasn't much about shale gas. The technology wasn't available then, but it almost immediately became firmly established in North America. So now, I guess the wild, wild west is in the east of Europe, right?
Absolutely. You know, Europe has really been reliant on Russia for the longest time for its gas supplies, and they're sitting in Eastern Europe, sort of between Russia and the rest of mainland Europe. They really have huge opportunities and huge reserves of shale gas they haven't been able to tap into. So they're really aggressively trying to explore that, get the production up, and be not so reliant on Russia.
Now, of course, we're talking specifically where your company is concerned about Bulgaria, and I want to make sure I get this right. You folks have just entered into Bulgaria. You've been granted an exploration and prospecting permit for crude oil and natural gas that was granted to you by the Bulgarian government, which is significant. Tell us about that.
Sure, Don. We applied back in February of 2010 for this block. It's a block that we're really excited about. It's about 98,000 acres worth of land. It's a fault-bounded, multi-faulted basin. We think there's a lot of gas trapped in both the sandstone and the shale of that property.
Now, I know that your asset in Bulgaria is known as the Veneno Block. What's the significance of that particular area?
Well, that area, it's right in northeastern Bulgaria, right just below the Romanian border. There's a lot of majors in that area within about 50 miles of us, sort of all around that property. There's been significant finds and significant hits. And Chevron's recently announced that they think that there's 882 billion cubic feet worth of natural gas in the shales of Bulgaria right now.
So the majors are already over there. They're already looking around, and you're basically in the same areas that they're playing in, so to speak, right?
Well, we've actually got interested in this. As I said, we applied in February. Chevron's only announced their interest in July, so we were able to kind of get in just before them. And there's a lot of interest to do joint ventures from some of the other majors in the area, both on our property and that we'd like to do on theirs.
Now, I noticed that the company, and of course we're talking about Park Place Energy Corporation, has announced the formation of a subsidiary called PKPL Bulgaria, and you're going to have that company hold your Bulgarian assets. Do you have any specific plans for the subsidiary?
Right now we don't. Right now that company really is just to operate in Bulgaria for us, focus on identifying and acquiring properties either through the government's bid process or through joint venture opportunities if and where they come along. We're currently talking to several industry leaders, both from our institutional backers as well as people in Bulgaria, and we're trying to establish whether the best route is to spin this company out and possibly list it on the Canadian market, or whether it's given as a wholly owned subsidiary.
Now, you mentioned Chevron in July, and we mentioned there might be some other majors operating in the area. I've also heard you say a couple of times the term joint ventures. Are there any possibilities looming for joint ventures with maybe some of the majors?
Right now, there's several major companies all around us. We have Melrose Resources out of London, Overgas, which is Gazprom's Bulgarian subsidiary, Bulgargas, which is the former state-owned company. They control most of the pipeline. They're looking for upstream opportunities. We're all kind of talking to each other. They've got some properties that they're interested in possibly opening up, and we'd obviously like to bring some majors in to work with us. So there is a lot of opportunity out there. We just haven't decided exactly which direction we're going on.
Now, George, of course, I mentioned at the top of the interview, you're one of the founders, one of the original founders of the company. I mean, did you ever envision that there'd become such an international company as it's becoming right now?
I didn't believe at the beginning, but when we founded the company, we wanted to be a high-impact international play company, and this basically fits the model and what we're trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish.
Now, of course, the energy business overall has become such a large part of the world, not only economically, but let's face it, politically as well. I mean, but with prices doing what they're doing and the way we've seen it grow so much, is this just about the best time to be in the energy business?
Absolutely. I believe so. I believe that the global energy, as large as the global energy system is today, it will continue to get larger with the industrial base growing as much as it's growing. New technologies are being created and populations grow. With natural gas increasing in 2010, they can only climb in 2011. Crude oil may hit as high as 3 digits based on the fact that governments are pumping cash into their economies to stimulate growth.
Now, David, there are some analysts who are believing that shale gas could someday supply as much as half of the natural gas that's used worldwide. Do you feel that the company, with your concentration on shale gas, has positioned itself correctly to take advantage of that growth?
Absolutely, Don. You know, with this opportunity, we're not just looking at the possibility of shale gas representing that much of the market. We're also looking at our geographic location, and with, as I mentioned to you earlier, with Russia such a dominating force in that European bloc, they can really control the price. So their price in Europe tends to be actually quite a bit higher than what we pay in North America for it. So where we're located now, the main pipelines actually flow right through our property from Russia. And the Bulgarians and sort of everyone in that Eastern European bloc and mainland Europe as well would really like to no longer be so dependent on Russia for their gas supplies.
I see. Well, George, being one of the founders of the company, that kind of qualifies you as being an old oil guy, and I'm not saying that you're old, but one of the oldest sayings in the energy business is that the best place to look for oil and gas is close to where oil and gas has already been found. Would you say that accurately describes the Bulgarian asset?
I do. Park Place has a unique opportunity here to take full advantage of the high-impact international play that basically what Park Place is looking for. If you look at towards the northeast corner of the country, Bulgaria, basically what's happening is there's a lot of interest being shown by the majors. Chevron has publicly stated with the Bulgarian government to open up 2 blocks, which potentially could have 882 BCF of gas just in the shales alone. Melrose basically have booked approximately 75 BCF of gas reserves on their offshore block that they've recently acquired a few years ago. Overgas, which is the Bulgarian subsidiary of Gazprom, was recently awarded an offshore block and also holds and still holds and is the largest gas reserves in the world, has the largest gas reserves in the world.
So you folks are basically, with your Bulgarian asset that you've just been permitted by the Bulgarian governments, I mean, you're firmly entrenched. You really feel like you're in a pretty advantageous place for you. I mean, it sounds like you're really in the right spot.
Park Place has an opportunity to get in something on the ground level, and the magnitude of this untapped resource in Bulgaria essentially could take the company to the next level. With the technology that Park Place from North America will provide to the Bulgarians, them being part of NATO back in 2004, part of the European Union in 2009, it's going to be something pretty special here for the company. It'll be something special for a North American company to move in there and see what we can do to basically explore what's been untapped and has been tapped for years and years and years.
It's really fascinating. Again, the company is Park Place Energy Corporation. Their stock symbol is PKPL. David, why is it a good time right now for folks to take a closer look at your company?
Right now, Park Place is on the ground level of a huge opportunity in Eastern Europe. The company has significant financial backing from the institutions. We have a lot of opportunities on this property. We have joint venture opportunities just on the horizon, and we have a very, very tight structure. And I think that if any real good news, you should see this company do really well.
Once again, Park Place Energy Corporation, PKPL. Gentlemen, we're reinitiating coverage of your company. I know we talked with you folks 2 or 3 years ago. It was very interesting then. It's become fascinating today. I want to congratulate you on this latest venture. We'll be following you very closely the next 3 months or so. Looking forward to more updates as this goes along. Thanks for joining us here in Phoenix.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you, Don.